You know, as I mentioned earlier, I did some shows in Europe, and I only bring that up to try and impress you. But I flew over, really the only way to get across the Atlantic. You rarely run into someone that's like, you know what, I paddleboard. It was a great arm workout. I flew over. That transatlantic flight wipes people out. People are a mess. They're like, I need a day. I need a day. The flight doesn't sound that hard. It's like, oh, it's brutal. I had to sit and watch 2 movies. I felt like I was being waterboarded. I need a day. It's flying back, 3,000 miles, 7 hours. We landed. The guy sitting next to me was like, that took too long. It used to take 6 weeks on a boat if you survived. That's how long it took Columbus to get from Spain to the Western Hemisphere, 6 weeks. But you know, once Columbus got here, it was like, I need a day. I am so boat-lagged. Give me a day and I'll get right down to murdering and plundering. Jim, don't bring up Columbus, you're too white. But Columbus, that's part of our history, right? Columbus ushered in all these people that came to the Western Hemisphere, and some of them did bad things. But humans have done bad things throughout the world. Like in Australia, the way some of the settlers treated the Aboriginals, it was not nice. It was not a g'day. In fact, it was a series of bad days or bidets. In New Zealand, the settlers shared the land with the native people, the Maori people, a very noble, warrior-like people. But the Maori weren't even the first people in New Zealand. The first people in New Zealand were the Maori, and then the Maori came and ate them. Not even making that up. That's the most intimidating thing you could do to your enemy, right? Like, oh, you're gonna kill me? Yeah, and then I'm gonna grab some mayonnaise. What do you need? Oh. Could you imagine those initial English settlers in New Zealand? Because the British had conquered the world. They had colonies on every continent. So by the time they got to New Zealand, they're like, we've done this before, let's meet with the locals and take over. So they met with the Maori and they're like, so what happened to these Maori people? Did you kill them? And they're like, yeah, and then we ate them. The English were like, we were thinking we could share the islands. You want to share? You're not hungry now, are you? You know what? Get them some shepherd's pie. Tell them it's made out of shepherds. Jim even makes colonialism about eating. They were cannibals. By the way, at one time, all human civilizations were cannibal, which means back then it meant something different when someone said, I'm craving Indian or Thai. I can see how you want to be offended, but there's no reason. When I was in Europe, I tried all the local specialties, you know. Norway, I tried reindeer meat. I was in a Norwegian butcher shop in January, and they had a sale on reindeer meat, and nothing says Christmas season is over. Quite like a sale on reindeer meat. It's gotta be a tough day for Santa. It's like, I want to thank all you reindeer who helped this Christmas. Great job. Now, when I call your name, come with me into the smokehouse. In France, I ate so much cheese, so much delicious French cheese, and I feel like I'm still digesting it. My delicate American body couldn't handle the French cheese. And it's not like I don't eat cheese. Most of you are looking at me like, we think you eat cheese. We think you might only eat cheese. But the French, they eat cheese on a whole other level. In France, they make eating cheese an official course of the meal. So you'll eat an appetizer, then you'll eat an entree, then for no reason at all, you eat a bunch of chunks of cheese. Then you eat dessert. After that, you go to the hospital. And of course, I've eaten chunks of cheese before, just not in public. Or with pants on. Eating chunks of cheese, that's something I'm usually caught doing. My wife's like, what the hell are you doing? Nothing, honey. Hey. I remember the first time I had the cheese course, I'd eaten an appetizer, I'd eaten my entree, and I started eating the cheese course, and I heard my heart say, are you mad at me? Did I do something to anger you? My brain took over. It's all right, there's gonna be some sweating. Bowels, you can take a couple weeks off. Appendix, get ready to blow. Tried so many delicious French cheeses, and I couldn't tell you the name of one of them. And they would tell me the names. They're like, this is Jean Jean Jean. From the Jean 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 region. And I'd be like, so not cheddar? Because I tried cheddar. You guys get cheddar over here yet? I like me some cheddar. Some of the French cheeses I tried were goat cheese, or as the goats call it, cheese. They're not caught up in your cow cheese bias. You know, when I see cheese, I don't even see an animal. I just see something my body can't process. I like goat cheese. I've never looked at a goat and thought, I bet that would make good cheese. How do we even get to the point of goat cheese? With someone like, this cow cheese is good, but see that dog that looks like it smokes meth? Can someone try and milk it? I got a hunch it would make cheese that would go great with beets. Those Europeans, they have a different approach to dairy. When they make a sandwich in Europe, they put butter on the bread. They put butter on the bread and then mayonnaise. Ugh. It's like putting on contacts and glasses. Butter on the bread of a sandwich, that actually sounds like something Americans would do that Europeans would criticize us for. Those American pigs, when they make a sandwich, they put butter on the bread. No wonder they fat pig. That's a good impression of absolutely every European. I did love doing shows over there. You never knew what was going to work. Sometimes there's a language barrier. There's different references. There's famous people in other countries we've never heard of. I was doing this show in Ireland before, doing the sound check before the show, and the sound guy was like, do you have any special requests? And I jokingly said, well, I'll probably close my show by singing Raglan Road, which is a famous Irish folk song based on a famous Irish poem. And the sound guy was like, oh, I don't recommend that. And I was like, wow, I was kidding, but why? And he goes, well, recently Billy Joel did that. And I was like, who's Billy Joel? And he goes, you don't know who Billy Joel is. I was like, I'm from another country. I don't know who's famous here. What is it, Superman's dad? I don't know. He goes, Billy Joel is from America. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's an American who's famous in Ireland that I've never heard of. There's no Billy Joel, piano man, uptown girl. And I was like, oh, you mean Billy Joel? And he goes, no, it's Billy Joel. And for a second I thought, maybe he's right. This wouldn't be the first time I've discovered I mispronounced someone's name for my entire life. In my mind, I started going through every conversation I had on Billy Joel. I'm like, did anyone else say Billy Joel? When I said Billy Joel, did anyone look at me strange? And then I remembered, you know who pronounces it Billy Joel? Billy Joel. And at that point, the opening act had come in, and he was also from Ireland. And I said, hey, this sound guy calls Billy Joel Billy Joel. And the Irish comic goes, it is Billy Joel. Is everyone crazy in this country? What, there's no one in Ireland named Joel? And he goes, yeah, we call them Joel. And I was like, well, then what would you call someone who's actually named Joel? And he goes, you mean like Billy Joel?